Hello, this time we're on the Malinovka map on the VK3601H. We're actually top tier, and in these situations I tend to, I wouldn't say lead the charge, but I tend to be a bit more aggressive in my play and tend to play a bit more kind of forward than I normally would do on this tank, because the armor on the VK36 isn't really that good, and especially the gun when against higher tier is not very effective. In this instance I'm actually making my way on top of the hill because my team is luckily making the right move. There are two medium tanks and a light tank going forward on top of the hill, which is a good sign because they are kind of basically scouting ahead of me, and I can basically try and pick at enemy targets from behind the lines and hopefully do that without being spotted, and at the same time dealing a bit of damage. I'm looking for
penetration
targets here and managed to damage a chaffee, but they are in a position that makes it very difficult for me to aim successfully. I'll just fast forward a little bit because there is a lot more action later. You see, I insist at sniping from this position, but it's not really a good position, and besides we've lost some of the spotting tanks. The score is not really very good. We're losing by 1, and what is most worrying is the fact that the other heavy tanks from my team are still at the base, and that's not good. I mean, you shouldn't just stay at the base, you should have actually come up to the hill with me. And now the Cromwell is doing a very good job and has actually gone very far. You can see here, and he's beginning to spot on the enemy base, which basically tells me that I have to hurry up and take advantage of this situation. And as you can see, I'm actually hurrying towards the enemy base. The problem is that the Cromwell gets destroyed, and I have lost basically anybody doing good scouting for me, and I'm actually at risk of being spotted myself. But I carry on regardless because I think the way is fairly clear here now, and I want to make use of my gun and start dealing some damage.
gotcha.
And that's the first one. I actually take in a bit of damage myself.
We're lucky it didn't blow.
Exactly, we're lucky that we didn't blow up there, but on the other hand I have to start breaking through here, otherwise nothing's going to happen, because as you can see the rest of my team is still stuck at base, and that's no use. We're not going to win if they just stay there. In fact, you can see that I'm stopping here because I'm actually urging in the battle chat, I'm urging the heavy tanks to come forward and help me attack. Not much happens, so I decide to do a tactic that I tend to do often when I play on this map on lower tiers. That is, I go down that very edge there and come up from sort of just slightly behind the enemy base. It's a bit risky on my tank, and as you can see I'm spotted, because obviously being a heavy tank I'm at risk of, in fact I get spotted almost immediately. I take a lot of damage here, but I'm trying to use my speed to avoid the shots, and so far I'm successful. And
We've lost the track.
this is where it gets a bit bad, because I'm tracked and
Enemy armor is destroyed.
I'm at really a big risk here. I took a bit of a chance. That T67 is creating problems, and finally I get it.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
It's actually
Enemy armor
not
is
too
hit.
bad now, because
Let's go.
there's only 2 left, and all I have to do is just take out this T34, type T34. So I try and get a little bit more cover, use the ridge to do a bit of hold down. There he is again, 1 shot and he's dead.
Knocked down.
And even though it wasn't the best result for me, because yes, I killed 4, but I took a lot of damage and I was at risk of dying there, it did make a difference on the battle, and we managed to win. Also thanks to my charge on the side, which allowed us basically to take out the last few enemies that were stopping our advance. Thank you for watching.